before you even go to the airport, because once you go to the airport, the Wi-Fi is not going to be good enough necessarily. You can get away with it, and I did, but it's a bit of a risk. So, hi everyone, my name's Matilda. Welcome back to my channel. I hope you're doing well today. Today's video is pricing up everything I spent in a long weekend in Australia. I've wanted to film this video for a while now, and I've just been putting it off, but today's the day we sit down and do it. I have totaled everything up. I've done it in 3 different ways. I've done it by day, then I've done it by category, and then I've just done literally everything in total. So I thought we would start with day, then category, and then break it down even further, and then at the end I'll put the grand total. Okay, let's go. So firstly, day 1 I spent 103.83 New Zealand dollars. I'm gonna put everything in US dollars as well, just because it's the most common currency. No, maybe common's the wrong word, but you know what I mean. Everyone can get a reference, you know. So that comes to $63.04 USD. Day 2, I spent $236.55, which comes to $143.63 USD. Day 3 was 222.74 New Zealand dollars, which comes to 135.25 US dollars. Then for other, which is things that spanned all 3 days, for example a phone plan, was $81.44 New Zealand, which comes to $49.45 USD. That's the 3 days. Now breaking it down into categories, I've done it accommodation, flights, transport, phone, food, souvenirs and shopping, activities, airport parking, and then miscellaneous, which was one thing that I couldn't for the life of me remember what it was. So accommodation, and this, bear in mind, is for 2 nights, 3 days. I left late on the 3rd day, like at 11 p.m. So I technically got a whole extra day without having to pay, which is a great hack. So accommodation, I spent $106, which is 64.36 USD. Flights, I spent $404, which is 245.31 USD. Transport, I spent $41.89, which is 25.44 USD. For my phone, was nice and cheap. I used Airlo, amazing, and I got 3 gigabytes. That was $4.94, which is 3 USD. I keep looking at this camera, not this camera. Food was $80.87, which is 49.10 USD. Souvenirs and shopping was $138.22, which is 83.93 USD. Activities were 193.94 US NZD, which is 117.7 USD. Airport parking was 76.5 NZD, which is 46.45 USD. And lastly, $2 on something I couldn't find out what it was, which is 1.21 USD. That is all for the categories. So I'm filming the second bit the next day because my camera actually overheated, which I'd heard was a thing online, but it hadn't happened to me yet. I did record the rest just now until my battery, well actually no, then my SD card was full. But I realized like it just wasn't as interesting as I thought it was going to be, like going into even more detail. Yeah. Or maybe because like I've already done, I know what I spent all the money on and I've like written it all out and everything. So what I thought I would do instead was just say a couple of the things that I did to save money, which were really, really good and I would recommend. And then we'll wrap it up. The first one was using an eSIM. I used the one by Airlo. It was honestly really great. You just have to download it and install it at home before you even go to the airport, because once you go to the airport, the Wi-Fi is not going to be good enough necessarily. You can get away with it, and I did, but it's a bit of a risk. So do it before, and then it's ready for when you get to the country. I've used Airlo in multiple countries. It's really great, and I actually do have a code, which I'll leave down below if you want to use it. I think like I get $3 off and you get $3 off or something. Great, we love it. Win-win all round. What I also did to save money was I bought snacks that way, like high protein snacks. That way, like when I was out and about, I never had to make like an urgent decision to buy food that was like maybe gonna blow the budget or something. I was able to be much more careful. That was really great, and I just brought those snacks with me the whole time, and they lasted the whole time. I use those like, they're like protein balls. They're really great. I love them. I also used a Lime bike instead of an Uber home, which was like half the price. Would definitely recommend. For my breakfast, the first day it was free at the hostel, so definitely look for a hostel with a free breakfast included. There's lots of them and you can definitely find them. And then I just did oats, which was like $1 or maybe $2. And then I just left the oats for like someone else to use, which is always, a nice thing to do. And then for dinner the second night, I went to the supermarket and just bought pasta, broccoli, and like a tomato sauce, and just made like a big batch of that and had that. And it was very simple, maybe not the most protein, but it was really delicious and yummy and super easy and cheap. It was only came to around like $6 or $7. I would definitely recommend that. I would also recommend busing wherever you can instead of the train. I took the train to the airport. So from Brisbane City to Brisbane Airport, I took like 2 buses and then a train, I believe. I actually wouldn't do that. I would probably try to take another bus if there is one, just because it ended up being a little bit pricey. What else did I do to save money? I think those are all my main tips, honestly. Oh, and the flights were on Jetstar, which is like 1,000,000 times cheaper than all the other options. So I would definitely recommend that. And the last one is, if you can, don't drive to the airport. Like, try to get someone to drop you off or take an Uber or something, because I racked up quite a bit in airport parking. I had to, but if you don't have to, then don't. Okay, that's all for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you took something away from it, or were able to, be able to analyze the costs a little bit better. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye.